This video will demonstrate how Sencha test can be used by developers to easily add and execute unit tests for applications built on Sencha platforms. It enhances the most popular open source testing frameworks, such as Jasmine, Selenium WebDriver, and Istanbul, tying those together with Sencha's JavaScript expertise into a powerful, cohesive testing platform. Everything is included and supported, so you can get started right away. Regardless of whether you're just starting your testing effort or you have an extensive library of tests, Sencha Test will help you reduce the effort of adding new tests and streamline testing cycles. Assume that I'm a developer working on our dashboard application and have been asked to complete the Add New Task capability. When a user clicks the green plus button, the text from the Add New Task text field should be converted into a task in the to-do list above. Right now, that button does nothing. The application is written using XJS. The application needs to get a handler for the button in the classic toolkit. The modern toolkit could be handled in the same way, although that will not be shown. This video shows tests being added via Sencha Studio, but those files could be added and edited from any editor or IDE if desired. In the dashboard view, open the code handling the to-do list. Add an identifier to the text field so we can easily access it. And wire up a click listener on the button. Add an implementation for that click listener in the dashboard controller. With the new functionality in place, add a test to make sure it works correctly. Note how the tests are located with the project source code so they can be managed in source control along with the project. Add a new scenario for the to-do test. Opening this scenario makes it easy to run the associated tests. The middle pane controls the built-in test runner and lists all of the browsers installed on the current machine as detected by Sencha Studio. The Sencha runner makes it easy to verify correct behavior in multiple environments by running tests in parallel across any or all of these browsers. But first, a new test suite must be created. Sencha Test leverages Jasmine, the most popular testing framework for JavaScript. Existing tests from modern releases of Jasmine can be run within Sencha Test with minimal changes, and easily extended to benefit from Sencha Test's rich reporting capabilities and supported integrations with XJS, Selenium WebDriver, Istanbul for code coverage, and more. The new test suite contains a simple Jasmine test stub which always passes. Jasmine tests are written in standard JavaScript, so there's no need to learn a new language or syntax for testing. To test the functionality, add a new it block which tests that the new task appears in the list. Instead of coding up the rest of the test, the event recorder can build the test case interactively. This is especially useful for complicated end-to-end tests and for users that may not be familiar with the application source code. Start the event recorder. Tell it which browser to watch. Give it a few seconds to launch and create the connection, then add a new to-do. Sure enough, the new items appear in the to-do list. Things seem to be working as expected. The recorder captured all of this, which must be inserted into the test suite. The test suite now contains the events that were recorded from the browser, including key presses and taps. To verify that the correct text was added to the list, add a small function explaining how to do that. This tap event corresponds to selecting the new element. It already has the right target element, so just add a validation function. The recorded code selects the appropriate target item, and the new function verifies that node contains the expected text. Recording events is just one way to create tests, which is obviously convenient. Often developers will just write the code for tests, especially for relatively simple cases such as unit tests. When adding a new item to the to-do list, the text field containing the description should be cleared after adding the item. Add another test to address this need. In this case, note how the test references XJS component new task text to locate the correct text field. Specifically, it uses a composite query based on component query plus a DOM query to target the input node inside the new task text component. This ensures the correct field will be used regardless of whether the browser uses the classic or modern toolkit, or the screen geometry forces an unexpected layout. The developer doesn't need to worry about how the DOM is rendered. Now that the tests are written, they just need to be run. Open this scenario we created, and a browser to test with. This opens the browser connected to Sencha Studio for testing. The Run Selection button actually runs the tests. The red number indicates the number of tests that failed. To understand which tests specifically, expand the test scenario in Suite. Everything looks good except the clears new task name test fails because that functionality needs to be implemented. Go back to the handler and add that. Now that the field is cleared, make sure the tests pass. Add a few more browsers this time to make sure it works in different environments. Great, everything is passing now. Note how the matrix formatting and rollup rows makes it simple to understand testing status. Running tests on remote browsers, such as a phone, tablet, or other machine on the network, is just as easy. Simply connect the appropriate browser to Sencha Studio's test subject URL. Browsers from in-house virtual machines or external providers such as Sauce Labs can also be leveraged directly from the same browser list. By testing multiple browsers in parallel, testing cycles can be shortened, leading to faster releases. Sencha Test is obviously streamlined for application and test development workflows, but it's also very well suited for test automation and continuous integration workflows. Sencha provides out-of-the-box integration with popular platforms such as Jenkins and TeamCity, and provides a command line interface for running tests which can be used from pretty much any open source, commercial, or homegrown testing platform. To ensure testing results remain accessible and understandable, the Sencha Test Runner makes it easy to view historical testing results using the full power of Sencha Studio. Even for simple cron-driven tests, users can quickly drill down to the matrix view to understand which browsers and tests are failing. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your time learning about how Sencha Test can help developers more effectively and efficiently test Sencha applications. To learn more and try it for yourself, please start a free trial from our website.